I am very, very anti the diet industry. And I'm anti because I've lived it. It is not your fault. You are faced with £1 billion industry. The reason that they have been able to build themselves up into £1 billion empires is because they rely on their return clients. You haven't failed. They have set you up to fail. Welcome to this week's episode of the Keep It Off podcast with me, Mel Harris. Today, I'm going to have a bit of a rant. I'm not only going to be helping those people, well, hopefully helping those people that are trying to keep their weight off for life. Good for you guys. I'm also going to be reaching out to people that are still on a weight loss journey. They're still trying to lose weight. And so I'm going to talk about the diet industry as a whole, because it's one of my pet bugbears. And I love talking about it. Just don't get me to talk about it around the dinner table, because you won't be able to stop me. I am very, very anti the diet industry. And I'm anti because I've lived it. I've lived it. I no longer see yo-yo as a cute little toy we used to play with when we were kids. That word yo-yo sends shivers down my spine. Yo-yo dieter. People have given themselves that title. They've just accepted it. I'm a yo-yo dieter. No, you're not. I'm a failed dieter. No, you're not. Oh, I give in too quickly. No, you don't. Let me say it again. It is not your fault. You are faced with £1 billion industry, a so-called diet industry that has created itself to make you think that what they do will make you lose weight. And it is bullshit. It doesn't work. And the reason that they have been able to build themselves up into £1 billion empires is because they rely on their return clients. That's where they make their money, on their returning clients. If what they are selling you worked, they would not have any returning clients. And that is why you are faced with a machine that churns out products that are beautifully marketed to say, if you do this, you're going to lose weight. If you do that, you're going to lose weight. The bookshelves are absolutely crammed with diet books. Social media, for example, is full of adverts for the latest weight loss craze. And I'm not talking here about the weight loss injections. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fad diets and diets with fancy names. Diets that are basically unsustainable. Food replacement diets that are absolutely unsustainable. How long can you live on a packet of powder that you mix with water and eat as your meal? How do you go out for dinner? How do you sit down with your family and have a meal? All these other diets that have so many things that you're not allowed to eat that make it impossible for you as a normal human being with everyday life to contend with. Do you remember when you could actually talk to someone who knew your name, understood your business, and gave you advice you could trust? Well, at Simply Insurance Solutions, that is still who we are and how we work. We work with you to assess your current insurance needs and make sure that you have exactly the right cover. Nothing more, nothing less. With over 40 years of knowledge and experience, our primary objective is to secure the most comprehensive cover that's robust and relevant for you at the most competitive price. Whether it's the increasingly essential cybersecurity, your commercial property, business, or your home, call 01707 291 200 and press 3 and 3. It'll get you through quickly and you'll be able to book your free, no obligation insurance review. Remember, the gaps in your cover won't show up until it's too late. We all have to deal with life on a daily basis. Some days are great, some days are absolutely horrendous. The car's broken down, you're in the middle of nowhere, you've just been scammed on the internet, or your boss is having a shitty day and taking it out on you, or the kids are playing up. But nevertheless, these are things that make us stressed. When we're stressed, we tend to eat. And when we eat, we tend to go for all the foods that every diet book says, oh, you can't have that, and you can't have that, and don't eat that, and don't eat that. And that's what makes it unsustainable. That's what does it. And that is what the industry is dependent upon. Remember that. You haven't failed. They have set you up to fail. How many times have you even joined a gym and never gone? But how many times have you gone to a weight loss group and you've started off all gung-ho? But the realism of you being able to turn up each week when you've got your kids that are going to dance classes or a dentist appointment or other things that life throws at us, you can't guarantee that you'll be there every week. And then you start to fall off the wagon. And that's what they rely on. They know you're not going to turn up every week. Even when they change these things to virtual, they are relying on the fact that when it's virtual, you won't have as much discipline and they won't be there on your shoulders calling you out for putting on half a pound. They also know that they specifically make their diets difficult. I won't mention the dieting brand, but I know an awful lot of people that joined them and they were saying it's great. I don't have to count calories. I've got certain foods I can eat, certain foods I can't eat, certain foods I can eat, but not at the same time that I'm eating something else. And the diet's really great because it covers so many different things. And this is just so easy. So why have they stopped? Why have they started putting their weight back on again? If diets worked, we wouldn't keep going back for more. It's as simple as that. And the more you beat yourself up for failing or for giving up or for putting on weight, the more you are compounding your own belief that you are rubbish at this. No, I can't diet. No, I can't stick to that. I've got no willpower. What is willpower? Willpower is not something we can bottle up and sell. I wish it was. Willpower is a state of mind, but it's a very vague state of mind. It's a generic term that we use to say, are we strong enough to continue down a road that is exceptionally bumpy and is usually closed? That's an unfair thing to do to anybody. Who's got the unfair advantage? I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I could go on for hours about the weight loss industry. And in fact, I think what I will do in another episode is do a deeper dive onto it rather than just giving you my emotional knee-jerk reaction to how I feel about the industry and about how it's structured and about what its core essence is about. It's about the money. Big businesses are not about you or me. It's about their shareholders and it's about the money. The only people they have to please is their shareholders. And I'm going to leave it there for now because I will do a really great deep dive on this another time. Join me on my rant. Let me have your comments. Let me know what you think. I'm Mel Harris and this has been the Keep It Off podcast. Thank you so much for joining me.